place. I worship you, I worship you. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Whoa, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
The Older Children's Lesson, Sunday, May 3, 2020. The title of our unit is The Holy Spirit, and the title for today's lesson is God's Gift for All. Let us focus on these Bible readings. Joel chapter 2, verse 28 to 31, Acts 2, verse 1 to 8, and Romans 8, verse 9 to 14. The Holy Spirit was a gift from God given to all Christians on the day of Pentecost. Let's turn our attention to this video.
After Jesus went back to heaven, his friends and helpers were praying together in a big room. Suddenly, something amazing happened. At first, it sounded as if a huge wind were blowing. Next, flames of fire flickered over every person's head. Then God's Spirit came, and everyone began to speak in different languages. This was the gift from God that Jesus had promised his followers. The day that God's Spirit came to Jesus' followers, there were people from many countries in Jerusalem. These people spoke different languages. When they heard Jesus' friends praying, they went to see what the noise was all about. They found Jesus' friends telling about the great things God had done. But they were all surprised to hear it in their own language. They asked,
"What does this mean?"
After that day, when the Holy Spirit first came, Jesus' followers began to do many miracles. Telling people about God's love and how Jesus had come to save them. One afternoon, Peter and John went to the temple. A man who couldn't walk sat there begging for money. Peter looked at him and said,
"I don't have any money, but I do have something else I can give you. By the power of Jesus Christ from Nazareth, stand up and walk."
Up jumped the man. His feet and ankles were now strong. He was healed.
Maybe you have some questions about the Holy Spirit, like, who is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit is God's Spirit who is present in the world. And maybe you have asked, why do we really need the Holy Spirit? Well, the Holy Spirit helps us to obey God. And have you ever asked, when do we get the Holy Spirit? We get the Holy Spirit when we become God's children by giving our lives to God. The verses from Romans chapter 8, verse 9 to 14, teach us that all believers have the Spirit of God, that is, the Holy Spirit living in them. There are two things we must remember. One, the Holy Spirit allows Christians to live with God forever. And two, the Holy Spirit helps us to obey God. Let us remind ourselves of the memory verse from Joel chapter 2, verse 28 to 29 from the New International Version. And afterward, I will pour out my Spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. Let us reflect today by asking ourselves these questions. Do I want to become a Christian so that I can have the Holy Spirit living within me? What would I like the Holy Spirit to help me to do?